So when last year, Altra, who's a running shoe company that specializes in zero drop wide platforms, announced that they were coming out with a training shoe, everybody, including myself, got really excited for it. I tested it, I did a full-on review on that shoe last year, and while I liked it, I didn't think it was perfect. There were a lot of things that I did not like with it, and it soon just sat on my shelf, and eventually I would just sell it off and never use it again. So now in 2018, that shoe has been refreshed as the HIIT XT 1.5, and I gotta be honest with you, this review is gonna be pretty short because it's pretty much the same exact shoe. So the build quality really hasn't changed. It did say on Altra's site that this has a new upper, and I'm really struggling to find what is new about this upper because, I mean, just besides the colorway, it looks pretty much the exact same. There's a breathable mesh that has like PU overlays to give it a little bit more support. There's a little bit more support in the toe area of the shoe, and that I did not like about last year's shoe, but I'll get back to that because it more is regarding the fit of the shoe. No heel count or anything, just a little bit stiffer area around the Achilles. It does do a good job of holding your heel in place though, so I'll give them that. The tongue is a little bit thick and padded. The shoelaces are the same shoelaces, but they're not annoyingly long like last year's. But they do stay tied pretty well, so I can't really complain there. There's a real basic lacing system, nothing special there. The logo is the exact same thing, and with the previous model, it used to actually press up against the side of my foot, and it would really like hurt after, you know, extended wear. In this model, it does not do that, so I'm assuming this part, at least of the shoe, is more flexible. And from a quality standpoint, it seems to hold up pretty well, but that doesn't keep it from just feeling a little cheap. The upper just feels a little cheap. Like, it's only $100 for this shoe, but it just feels a little cheap. The outsole is the exact same thing. This one obviously has the gum outsole, which is going to be real popular. This colorway, I do give it to them, is a good-looking colorway, and I think pretty much all the ones for this year look better than last year's colorways. It does have the power sole platform, wide toe box that is a zero drop, and then a fairly stiff midsole. In the inside there is a 5mm footbed that is anatomical, and then you can also remove this because there's a turn-in stitching so that you can use these without the insole. The problem about that is that when you take out this 5mm thick insole, there's a lot of space in there, so unless you've got big feet, it's gonna be pretty roomy in there. The midsole stack is 18mm without the footbed, and with the footbed it's like 24 for some reason, or that's what they claim it to be. Initially with the original HIIT XTs, I thought they were going to be a minimalist platform, but they're not a minimalist platform, so don't go into buying these shoes thinking that there's going to be a really small midsole or anything. It's just a zero drop shoe, and that much I like at least. So they will feel quite tall, and even in comparison to like Nanos and Metcons, they are pretty tall and pretty far away from the ground. So if you don't like that, maybe stay away from these shoes. And finally, they are not a lightweight shoe at all. They're actually fairly heavy, coming in at 12 ounces for a men's 10. So last year, Altra sent me the HIIT XTs in a size 10, and I quickly found out that the shoes ran a little bit on the small side. And honestly, I don't really think it's because they're just smaller. I really think it's because of that rigid toe area. It's unforgiving, so if your feet run into it at all, it just kind of hurts and it gets a little uncomfortable. I bought these in a size 10.5. This time around, the width is a little bit better. The side of my foot doesn't run up against the logo anymore, but my toes are still pretty much right at the front. It has enough space though, so I don't run into the front as much as I did with the size 10s. If you're coming from Nanos or Metcons, think about sizing these at least a half size up, maybe even a full size up if you don't like your feet to be touching the front of the shoe at all. And keep in mind, guys, that while these may look like big and clunky shoes, that they are not actually wide at all. The heel and midfoot area are probably the most narrow parts of the shoe, and then the toe box has a good amount of space, but I wouldn't say that it's any wider than probably like the Nano 6, and definitely not as wide as the Nano 8. It's probably a little bit more in line with the way that Nike Metcons fit. Flexibility was the most surprising part of last year's shoes, because I thought these were going to be like really lightweight and flexible for some reason, but they just weren't. They're heavy, 12 ounces, they're wide, they're clunky, they're not really flexible, not a really good running shoe. I thought they were an okay like sprinting shoe because of the wide platform. You can get a pretty good toe off in the HIIT XT and the HIIT XT 1.5s, but overall, like plyometric movements, anything where you have to be kind of light on your feet and agile, the HIIT XTs are just not good because they're clunky, they're wide, the outsole's wide, the actual just upper feels wide, and probably not the best shoe for like doing like body weight or lightweight Metcons. But in turn, the stability of these shoes is really good, and I really like that about the original ones. That wide platform makes landings really stable. You can get excellent power delivery out of these. Even with the insole in, I didn't notice any kind of power difference by taking it out and just using, just the shoe as it is without that little bit of cushioning. Lifting in these shoes is excellent. So if you like that zero drop platform, these are some of the best shoes to lift in, but that's probably all I would use them for. I think they're great for like Olympic lifting, they're good for powerlifting. Probably not my favorite shoes to deadlift in because they're a little bit high off the ground, but I do like squatting in these shoes. Overhead pressing is stable because they're a wide platform. Overall, just a really wide shoe that is heavy, but takes a really big hit for that stability in the flexibility department. At the end of the day, these shoes only retail for $100, and for the price, I think they're okay. I don't love these shoes. I don't hate them either. Will I use them again after this review? Probably not. I think I'm just gonna send them back because nothing has really changed from last year's model. If you have last year's model, then you don't need to upgrade because it's the exact same shoe, unless you like the new colorways. And I do admit that this blue and gum looks pretty cool. It's got the electric blue, it's got the black logo. It's not the greatest like as far as the lines go, but if you hold it far away, it looks pretty cool. Otherwise, for $100, I still think you can do better. You can buy the Flex Weave Speed TRs a little bit more. You can buy some Nano 8s on sale. You can buy some Metcon 4s. There's just way more compelling options in the training shoe segment than the HIIT XTs. These are, if you didn't like them last year, you're not going to like them this year. And yeah, that's about it about these shoes. Kind of disappointed that they didn't do more with, I guess, the mid-season refresh, if you want to call it that, because they're only the 1.5s and not the 2s. Not a bad shoe. If you were a fan of the originals, you'll probably still like these ones, but otherwise, yeah, I'm going to say pass on these ones. If you guys have any questions about the Altra HIIT XT 1.5, feel free to leave them in the comment section. And as always, guys, please hit that like button, subscribe, and thanks for watching.